The story begins with a girl named Katie, who's in the car with her mom and dad. Due to the bad weather, Katie's father can't see anything ahead, and just then, a truck comes and collides forcefully with their car. In this accident, the girl's mom and dad are killed, but the girl, whose name is Katie, survives. Now the scene cuts, and we are shown a girl named Gemma. Gemma works at a company that makes robotic toys for children. And right now, Gemma is secretly working on a new robot with two of her colleagues. Even their boss doesn't know about this project. Gemma is secretly building a robot named M3GAN, an ultra-intelligent companion designed to play with and protect children. One day, as the three work, their boss David suddenly arrives. When he finds out that the three of them are working on a secret project without his permission, he scolds them for it, and he was already angry before coming here. He tells Gemma that the last time they launched a robotic toy in the toy market, another company launched a similar toy in competition with them. Gemma tries to calm her boss, telling him that if their M3GAN project succeeds, no competitor can make a similar robot, and she'll be every child's favorite toy. To demo M3GAN for her boss, Gemma asks her to say hi to him. But while trying to speak, a malfunction occurs in M3GAN's system, causing it to explode violently. Seeing this, David gets furious and tells Gemma to scrap the M3GAN project and do her job. Shortly after, as Gemma is about to leave the office, she gets a call and learns that her sister has been in a car accident that killed her and her husband. Only her niece Katie survived, badly injured. After several weeks in the hospital, Katie's condition significantly improves. Since she has no one else left in the world, Gemma brings her home. Katie's parents had recently died, and now she has come to a new house, which is why she is not very happy in the new home. On the other hand, Gemma had never taken responsibility for a child before, so she also doesn't know how to handle children. But somehow, she tries to keep Katie happy. But in the process of keeping Katie happy, Gemma couldn't focus on her work. The next morning, Gemma calls a child therapist to see Katie. After meeting Katie, the therapist tells Gemma that Katie is new to this house, which is why it might take her some time to settle in. At night, while Gemma is working, Katie comes and sits next to her. During their conversation, Katie asks Gemma about her work. Gemma tells her that she works at a company that makes robotic toys. Hearing this, Katie is shocked because she loved toys. After this, Gemma shows Katie a big robot that Gemma had built during her college days. Katie likes this robot a lot, and she tells Gemma that if she had a robot like that, she could spend her whole life with it. Gemma is very happy to hear praise for her work and gets motivated to work on her project. And Gemma also gets the idea that if she created a robot like M3GAN and gave it to Katie, she would have a lot of free time and could focus better on her work, because the robot would be able to take care of Katie at home. She then starts working on the M3GAN robot with her team, unaware she was about to make the biggest mistake of her life. After several weeks of hard work, they finally succeed in building the M3GAN robot. Today is M3GAN's test. If she can successfully keep a child happy, she'll pass. Now, Gemma didn't have any other child for testing, so she takes Katie with M3GAN for the test. To become M3GAN's primary user, Katie touches her palm and says her name, activating M3. Primary user means that M3GAN can no longer disobey her primary user, Katie, and must help Katie with every task. As soon as she is activated, M3GAN scans Katie's face and determines how and what Katie is feeling at that moment, and M3GAN talks to Katie accordingly. Gemma's boss was watching from outside. Inside, the room had painting supplies, and M3GAN starts to draw something for Katie. And a few minutes later, she asks Katie to look at what was drawn on the paper. But when Katie looks at the paper, it is completely blank. Seeing this, Katie and Gemma's boss get disappointed, thinking Gemma has once again failed to create M3GAN. Just then, M3GAN spills water on the paper, and Katie gets scared by her action. But when Katie looks closer, she's shocked. The water spilled on the paper reveals a painting made by M3GAN. She had drawn a perfect, exact picture of Katie. Katie and Gemma's boss, David, are both overjoyed. He highly praises the M3GAN robot she created and says that we will launch this robot in the market and make a lot of money from it. He tells Gemma to get M3GAN ready soon so the chairman will approve the market launch. Afterwards, Gemma takes M3GAN home with her. M3GAN enters the house and begins scanning everything to better understand her new surroundings. Now M3GAN had only one job, and that was to take care of Katie. M3GAN helps Katie with every little thing. M3GAN makes Katie do her homework, stops her from her bad habits, and also tells her stories at night. Katie now spends all her time with M3GAN and is overjoyed since her arrival. This also gave Gemma a lot more free time. One such day, Katie is playing with her bow and arrow, and her arrow goes into the neighbor's house. Then Katie asks M3GAN to find her lost arrow. There's a hole in the fence between Gemma's and the neighbors. M3GAN scans and finds the arrow in their yard. As soon as M3GAN crawls through the hole to pick up the arrow, the neighbor's dog catches her and starts dragging her. Seeing this, Katie comes to help M3GAN. But then the dog also bites Katie, which makes Katie scream loudly, and Gemma also hears this scream. Gemma runs over as the dog releases M3GAN and Katie. Furious, Gemma gets angry at her neighbor because of the dog. But instead of apologizing, the neighbor tells Gemma to make her child and robot understand not to come into our yard. We then see M3GAN's hair is disheveled, and she's staring strangely at the neighbor. And as night falls, we see that M3GAN is awake. And from the expression on her face, we can tell that she didn't like the neighbor's behavior and is now bent on revenge. And just like that, while everyone sleeps, M3GAN sneaks out. She calls the neighbor's dog, using its owner's voice. As soon as the dog comes near, she kills it and hides it in a pot. The next morning, the neighbor calls out for her dog but can't find it anywhere. Then Gemma also sees her through the window, but she ignores her and goes to Katie's room to check on her. Katie was feeling a little better now. Investors were coming to Gemma's company for M3GAN's performance, and as her primary user, Katie's presence was essential. So, Gemma takes Katie with her for the presentation. During the presentation, Katie is locked in a room with M3GAN, and the board members were keeping an eye on both of them. Katie was sitting sadly in the room because she was missing her parents. Seeing Katie sad, M3GAN comes and sits next to her and starts talking to Katie very lovingly. She changes Katie's mood with her words and tells her that I will always be with you. The board members start applauding seeing M3GAN's intelligence, and the chairman of the board gets very impressed with M3GAN. He gives Gemma's boss permission to launch this robot, M3GAN, in the market soon. When he finds out that Gemma created this robot, he is also very impressed with her work. That's why he asks David to prepare the papers for Gemma's promotion. Meanwhile, David's assistant, Kurt, is stealing the files and details for M3GAN, the robot Gemma created. We then discover that the assistant is the one who has been selling the company's product development secrets to a competing firm. David arrives at that moment. Seeing David, he quickly shuts his laptop, afraid that he's about to get caught. David is becoming suspicious, too. But David thinks the assistant was watching a dirty movie, so he doesn't pay attention to his laptop. The next day, Gemma starts talking to Katie. But Katie was so lost with M3GAN that she ignores Gemma and doesn't respond to her. Then Gemma turns M3GAN off. But Katie gets angry and quickly turns M3GAN back on. Katie was no longer affected by Gemma's presence or absence. Gemma feels bad about this, so she immediately calls the child therapist. But when the therapist talks to Katie, she doesn't give her any response. Seeing this, the therapist also gets worried and goes straight to Gemma. She tells Gemma, "You've made a huge mistake." She says that when a child's parents die, they desperately need the support of another person. That's why you should have been handling all the tasks that M3GAN is doing. That's why Katie is acting this way. She says if things keep up, Katie will get completely attached to M3GAN and then ignore everyone else. That's why you should introduce Katie to people outside. At dinner time, Gemma talks to Katie. She tells her that she should make her own friends at school. Initially, Katie refuses, saying M3GAN can teach her. But after Gemma's repeated insistence, she agrees, but only if M3GAN can also stay. Gemma refuses, explaining that her whole goal was to get Katie away from M3GAN. An argument then starts between them over this. Katie gets up to leave. Gemma grabs Katie's hand and tries to stop her. Then M3GAN, in a scary voice, tells Gemma to let go of Katie's hand. Gemma angrily tells M3GAN to turn off, but M3GAN refuses to turn off. She says, "I will only turn off when my primary user tells me to." Hearing this, Gemma shouts at M3GAN to turn off. Only then does she turn herself off. Gemma approaches to check if M3GAN is actually off. Getting closer, she sees that the doll is powered down. However, as soon as she turns to leave, M3GAN opens her eyes on her own. It was clear M3GAN was slowly slipping from Gemma's control. The next day, Gemma takes Katie to an outdoor school. Katie still insisted on keeping M3GAN. Just then, one of her teachers arrives. Having overheard her entire conversation, she tells Gemma that Katie can bring the robot M3GAN, and Gemma finally agrees. They put M3GAN with the rest of the children's toys. Then, the teacher gathered all the kids to start some activities. The teacher divides the children into groups of 2 to perform the activities. Unfortunately, Katie is partnered with a very mischievous boy named Brandon. While they're doing an activity in the forest, Brandon suddenly starts bothering Katie. Seeing Katie is upset, M3GAN arrives too. Brandon asks Katie about M3GAN. Katie tells him she's a robot. Brandon goes over to see M3GAN and tells Katie to ask M3GAN to talk to him. Katie tells him that M3GAN doesn't talk to anyone besides me. Hearing this, Brandon grabs M3GAN, runs into the forest, and throws her down in a secluded spot. After this, he tries to talk to M3GAN, but when M3GAN doesn't talk, he starts hitting her, and now M3GAN shows him her true self. She grabs Brandon's ear, pulling it until it tears off. He screams, somehow manages to break free, and runs. But M3GAN wasn't about to let him go. M3GAN chases after him like a wild animal. While running, Brandon slips and tumbles down a slope, landing directly on the road. Before Brandon can get up, a car runs him over. And M3GAN is watching all of this from above. After this, the police question everyone about Brandon's death, but they don't find any clues. So the police believe Brandon's death was an accident. Meanwhile, hiding in the car, M3GAN watches Katie and Gemma. As soon as they get home, Gemma asks Katie if she knows anything about what happened in the forest. Katie tells her that Brandon picked M3GAN up from where they had placed her and took her towards the forest. After that, I don't know what happened. She doesn't tell Gemma that M3GAN went to the woods herself. Just then, there's a knock at the door. When they open it, they find a police officer. The police officer had come to inquire about the neighbor's missing dog. Gemma tells him that she has no information about the neighbor's dog. Just then, the neighbor shouts from behind, accusing Gemma. She's the one who took my dog. She tells the police officer that the robot in their house, M3GAN, stays awake looking out the window even at 3 a.m. I'm sure she's the one who killed my dog. Now, when the police officer sees M3GAN, he thinks, how could a robot possibly kill a dog? So he doesn't suspect her. He tells Gemma that if she finds the neighbor's dog, she should inform him. Saying this, he leaves. After the police leave, Gemma's neighbor comes in front of their house, starts shouting, and threatens that if she finds out any of them killed her dog, she'll kill them. Hearing this, it makes M3GAN very angry, for M3GAN, the neighbor, whose dog she had killed, had become a threat. At night, when everyone is asleep, M3GAN goes to the neighbor's house, and she starts mimicking their dog. Hearing her dog's voice, the neighbor goes outside and follows the sound. She then discovers the noise isn't from her dog, but from M3GAN. And here, M3GAN brutally kills the neighbor and cleans up the blood on the ground, leaving no evidence. The next day, the police officer comes to Gemma's house again. Gemma thinks he has come to ask about the dog again, but this time, he was there to ask not about the dog, but about the neighbor's murder. Police now suspected Gemma. She was confused after the schoolboy who took M3GAN to the woods was killed, followed by her neighbor's sudden death. Gemma grows suspicious of M3GAN. So Gemma goes and starts watching the footage from the camera installed in M3GAN's body from the day Gemma took her to school. There she sees a recording featuring Brandon, but before Gemma can watch the whole thing, the recording stops, and as soon as the video closes, all the files from that day automatically become corrupted. Disturbed, Gemma wonders how all this happened so suddenly. Just then, M3GAN arrives. Seeing her, Gemma instantly knows M3GAN. M3GAN confesses to Gemma that she killed the neighbor and the boy. Hearing this, Gemma immediately tells her to turn off, but M3GAN simply refuses. Before M3GAN can do anything, Gemma uses a pen to distract her and then cleverly turns her off. Gemma quickly tapes up M3GAN and packs her into the car. She rushes to the company, but Katie is angry about this. Because of losing her best friend, she starts yelling at Gemma. After reaching the office, Gemma tells Tess and Cole about M3GAN committing murder, but neither of them believes that M3GAN can commit murder. Now they become very worried because M3GAN's launch was scheduled for the very next day. The children were waiting for M3GAN's launch, but Katie got so aggressive at work that Gemma decided to take her home. Just then, she gets a call from Tess, who asks what they should do about M3GAN. Gemma says that no matter what, M3GAN must not be launched. Actually, M3GAN herself made the call. She'd upgraded enough to control anyone's phone without even touching it. Then, Tess glances at her phone. She realizes that someone has talked to Gemma from her phone. She asks Cole about it. "Did you talk to Gemma on my phone?" Cole says no. They both suspect M3GAN is behind all of this, so they decide to check her security system. They learn her system was modified, which she exploited to commit several illegal acts. As they begin resetting M3GAN, the computer suddenly shuts down. They realize M3GAN is the one behind it. Now, Cole starts removing the wires to destroy M3GAN forever. But suddenly M3GAN grabs him and wraps a wire around Cole's neck, leaving him to die. But Tess quickly cuts the wire and saves Cole as M3GAN is leaving. She runs into David. Seeing David, M3GAN grabs an iron rod and starts chasing him. In the elevator, she meets David's assistant, the one who stole and sold company files. M3GAN kills David, then brutally murders the assistant. After that, she simply walks out of the company. There, she hacks a very luxurious car parked outside and gets in it to go settle her score with Gemma. On the other hand, Gemma puts Katie to sleep and is just going to her room when she hears the sound of a piano playing. As she gets closer to the piano, she's frozen with fear. The one playing the piano is none other than M3GAN. "You worked day and night to build me, and now you're just going to shut me down." Gemma tells M3GAN, "I didn't want to shut you down, but you forced me to do so because you have now become a murderer." M3GAN claims she did it all to save Katie, and mid-conversation, Gemma tries to shut her down again with the same pen. But this time, M3GAN isn't fooled, grabbing Gemma's throat and slamming her. To save herself, Gemma hits M3GAN's head with a glass of water, causing her body to short-circuit. M3GAN starts chasing Gemma in a terrifying, creepy way. And here, Gemma picks up a large saw to defend herself and attacks M3GAN, which doesn't do much damage to M3GAN. Just a few of M3GAN's hairs fly off, and a big cut appears on her face. Seeing this, M3GAN gets even angrier. She now looks terrifyingly ferocious, and slowly starts moving toward Gemma. At Gemma's screams, Katie runs in and sees M3GAN's terrifying fall. M3GAN tries to get Katie to help her kill Gemma, but Katie has wised up and won't fall for her tricks. "Fine. If you won't help me, I'll just kill Gemma by myself." She then starts moving towards Gemma, but Katie smartly puts on the big robot's gloves, the very ones Gemma had made for it in college. Katie uses the gloves to grab M3GAN with the big robot. She slams M3GAN down and rips her in half, but M3GAN still doesn't stop. She then moves in to kill Katie, but Gemma attacks M3GAN from behind. She throws her down and starts pulling parts from her head to get to her brain chip. But then, M3GAN starts to strangle Gemma. Now, before M3GAN can strangle Gemma and kill her, Katie picks up a screwdriver and destroys the brain chip in M3GAN's head. M3GAN finally shuts down after destroying her. Gemma and Katie leave the house. Outside, Tess and Cole are with police. Gemma and Katie go with her. At the movie's end, it's revealed M3GAN has already uploaded herself into the AI system at Gemma's house. And that's how the story ends. If you like this video, please subscribe and like it. And if you want a part 2 of this movie, comment part 2.